Hello, and welcome to the Naked Audience. Yes, today, the letter E. Yeah, so, today on How's My Phone, we're going to do the letter E. Duh.
Der.
Alright, so let's get going here. We will, begin this shortly when this is all ready. Alright, look at this. Okay, so right off the bat we have Earth. So Earth, what can I tell you about Earth? Well, this is Dylan Carlson basically. He's been the main member, sole survivor of the band Earth. Been around for a while. Stoner, doom, long, experimental, metal, heavy, fuzzy, buzzy, wuzzy. But so many members along the way. I have 8 albums here. I do have the new one, Even Hell Has Its Heroes, somewhere on here. I don't know where it is, but yeah, it's really interesting stuff, really good soundtrack stuff. I think even Jim Jarmusch used a little bit of his music at one point. Dylan Carlson, like I said, the main member. He had other people of note like Joe Preston, did bass and percussion for a little bit. He was in the Melvins for a short time. Brett Netson from Built to Spill for a short time, and then he has this band Caustic Resin. He was in them too. But now it's just Dylan Carlson and Adrian Davies on drums. Great drummer. Has a really, really nice technique. Which is the best? I don't know. They're all really good. Of course, Earth 2, the debut, is really good. Yeah. The Bees Made Honey in the Lion's Skull. Interesting title there. Good artwork. Great long pieces of music. Long fuzz. Drawn out, nice and slow stuff. Yeah, that's Earth. Okay, Eddie Cochran. So yeah, I don't listen to a lot of 50s music, but Eddie Cochran does have a place in my personal history because when I was in grade school and I listened to a lot of my brother's records. He had the Stray Cats that kind of turned me on to some 50s music. I got a Eddie Cochran's Greatest Hits or something. I can't remember. It's been so long. But interesting story. When I was in 6th grade, we had a 50s theme party, and you could sign up to do like a lip sync performance of a 50s song. So I had a couple of my friends, and we did Genie, Genie, Genie by by Eddie Cochran. And the strange thing was I really liked that song. There was a girl in my class named Jeannie. I hoped that she didn't think that I did that because of her, because it wasn't about that. I liked the song. But yeah, I don't know if I had a tennis racket or whatever, but yeah, Eddie Cochran, great 50s rocker. Yeah, I just have a couple of his records here. Very best of Teenage Heaven. Yeah, one of my earlier rock and roll records from grade school. But yeah, Eddie Cochran, kind of sad story, died at age 21. But he was a big force in early rock and roll music in the 50s. All right, let's move on to Einstürzende Neue from Forna. Einstürzende Neubauten. So, our collapsing new buildings. Doesn't sound as good in English. Maybe collapsing modern structures.
No.
Industrial punk from Germany. Yeah, I just have Stahlmusik. It's not really one of their official albums, but a long time ago I used to have a cassette, the 2x4 cassette on Royer Records. But yeah, really great early industrial punk stuff there. That logo, a lot of people might recognize that logo. Rollins has a tattoo of it. Anyway, great early industrial punk there. Electric Light Orchestra, ELO. Yeah, the great Roy Wood, right? And then later on, Jeff Lynne. Of course, early on, they were The Move. We'll get to them when we get to the M's, but ELO, that was one of my earlier rock bands too when I was in grade school. We had Out of the Blue on cassette, and I love that song, Sweet Talking Woman. But we also had Xanadu on vinyl. I remember seeing that movie Xanadu in the cinema. Of course, Olivia Newton-John singing most of the songs, but somewhere on my phone I also have a version of Xanadu by with Jeff Lynne on vocals. I actually prefer that one, but I just have the first album on here, No Answer, which is just incredible for ELO, early ELO. Of course, I like, obviously, the other stuff came a little bit later, but this is a particularly great album. Electric Wizard, yeah, another doom stoner rock band from England. They were for a long time a trio with Jess Oborn, kind of the main guy. Now they're a quartet. They have Liz Buckingham on lead guitar. Great stuff there. I just have Dope Throne on here, but really heavy, great stoner stuff there. You get the devil on there smoking a bong. It really tells you everything you need to know about the music within Elephant's Memory. It's another kind of strange little band. I guess they're known for being the backing band for John Lennon and Yoko Ono for a short time. The Plastic Ono Elephant's Memory Band or something like that. But here I have the soundtrack from Midnight Cowboy. They have a few songs on here. More interesting stuff from that great soundtrack. But yeah, Elephant's Memory. Don't know too much about them, mostly just from the soundtrack. Elfenbein, yeah, Elfleg. A German band, not krautrock in any sense of the term, just blues rock, blues 70s classic rock. I just have this one album, Made in Rock. Yeah, most albums are made in Japan, made in somewhere. This is just made in rock. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I don't remember how I got a hold of this. Just an MP3 of the album. Interesting blues rock from the 70s. All right, Ella Fitzgerald. What can I say about Ella Fitzgerald? One of the greatest, if not the greatest, female vocalists ever. Just the smoothest, most amazing voice. I love the songs that she does on a lot of these records, especially the Cole Porter stuff. Some other songs here. Her version of Miss Otis Regrets. Wunderbar. All right. Elvin Jones, another greatest. Or GOAT. One of the greatest drummers ever, Elvin Jones, of course, known for being the drummer for John Coltrane, but then branching out on his own, several solo albums. Just an amazing drummer, really his own style. No one plays quite like him. Genesis is a fantastic album. Main Force, New Agenda, Time Capsule is great. All these are great. Elvin Jones, my God. Fantastic. Okay, Elvis Presley. Yeah, this is from the Mystery Train soundtrack. His version of Mystery Train is on it. It's the only thing I have on here by Elvis. I'm not a big Elvis guy, so yeah, Elvis. Okay, back to dipping our toe a little bit in krautrock, but Embryo, German band. What can I tell you about Embryo from Munich? More world music than anything, but great experimental rock music from the 70s. So much great stuff. Embryo's Rise is It's a long record, but it's so great. But all these other records are really great too. Rock Session, Surfin', We Keep On. I love all this stuff. Steig aus, Opal. Yeah. Again, not really necessarily krautrock, but lots of different world music elements involved in their music. I got lots of their stuff here, as you can see, over 9 hours. It's really great. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, English prog, one of the big English prog bands. Again, I don't have everything, especially not Love Beach.
I mean, how can you make a prog album and then call it Love Beach? Doesn't that tell you there's something wrong?
But Pictures at an Exhibition is a great live performance. It's on video on YouTube. You can check that out. Of course, you know, Tarkus, Brain Salad Surgery, Trilogy, all great records, but I love the first album, the ELP debut. Really great. I mean, you got Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, Carl Palmer, just talented ass guys out of England. Up to a point.
You're seeing what makes one knife different from any other. The patented spring-loaded tungsten carbide sharpening heads inside the case of the Wilshire Stay Sharp knife. Just put it in or take it out, and the Wilshire stays as sharp as the day you bought it. A very useful tool to have around the kitchen. Wilshire, the sharp knife that stays that way.
Emmylou Harris, great country-tinged music there. Beautiful Emmylou Harris with a gorgeous voice. I have a couple of her earlier records here. Pieces of the Sky. Really great stuff. What was it? Chris Hillman from the Byrds. I don't know if he discovered her, but kind of got her in the mix there with Graham Parsons, and they did a lot of great stuff together. She's still going strong. She's like, 76? Still doing it with her gorgeous hair, white hair. Now she has white hair. Here she has black hair. But Emmylou Harris, great vocals, great country-tinged music. Brian Eno and the Winkies. Of course, the Winkies was the band he brought on, kind of an English bar band he brought on to be his backing band for his solo stuff. It's kind of short-lived, but here I have some BBC or Peel sessions here. They do the Papa Negro Blowtorch, Babies on Fire, Totaled, which is, I think, I'll Come Running, and an interesting version of Fever, but I don't really listen to that so much. But Babies on Fire, Papa Negro Blowtorch, I'll Come Running, those are really great, worth having there. You know, and the Winkies. We'll get to the Winkies when we get to the W's. I have one of their records. Great stuff. You know, Möbius, Rodelius, and Planck. Again, Brian Eno working with some krautrock heroes. Dieter Möbius, Hans Joachim Rodelius, and Conny Planck, great krautrock producer there. Here, this is Begegnungen, an album they did together. Great stuff. When you like some of that more ambient krautrock, tinged stuff. Cluster. I mean, it's a great combination of people there doing that. Epic Soundtracks, Kevin Paul Godfrey, the late Kevin Paul Godfrey, known as Epic Soundtracks, of course, originally with his brother, Nicky Sudden, Adrian Nicholas Godfrey, also, rest in peace. Epic passed away at age 38. Nicky passed away at 49. Of course, they're known for the great punk band, Swell Maps. Here I have his 3 main LP releases here. They're all just incredible stuff. A lot of piano, vocals. Which one's my favorite? That changes because they're all just incredible stuff. Incredible music. Epic music by Epic Soundtracks. Eric Burdon and the Animals is basically the Animals. I have more of the Animals on here somewhere. There's a later 60s album, Love Is. I do a version of Ring of Fire on here. But yeah, you know, blues, psychedelic, late 60s rock from the Animals. Yeah, that's them. I mean, the Animals. Eric Burdon, great vocalist, still going strong today. French composer Eric Satie. I know him from his Gymnopédie. Those were great pieces of music. I forget, I maybe first heard him in the movie Another Woman, the Woody Allen drama. Great, interesting drama with some of Eric Satie's music opening credit song, and so I went out and I found some version of it here on EMI. What is this? Aldo Ciccolini on piano, I presume. But yeah, more of my classical music collection there. ESP Ohio, Robert Pollard, Doug Gillard, Travis Harrison, and Mark Shue. Side project of Pollard, obviously. Pollard originally wanted to use the name ESP Ohio for a side project he was doing with Todd Tobias, and they recorded a record. It turned out to be My Mind Has Seen the White Trick. At the last moment, he thought, I'll make it a Circus Devils album. So he saved the name ESP Ohio and used it for this starting point of the Royal Cyclopean, a good, solid rock album. Just great, great stuff. Lithuanian Bombshells, a single off that, and Grand Beach Finale is maybe my favorite. Great finale to the album. Yeah, I recommend this. You know, if you like good modern rock, that's the stuff. That is the ticket there. Etc. Yeah, this is another German, maybe kind of krautrock band, more jazz influenced. This is Wolfgang Dauner, and he's a German jazz pianist, and he started the United Jazz and Rock Ensemble, but here I'm mostly familiar with his band, Etc. Etc., the self-titled, is probably my favorite. Knirsch, which is a really great album it did with John Heisman, an English drummer from Colosseum, and Larry Coryell, an American jazz guitarist. So that's a really, really great album too. So Etc. Wonderful. Love that stuff. Okay, now up to Scotland for Eugenius, originally known as Captain America. Then had to change the name, so Eugene Kelly, also known from the Vaselines, started a rock band here in the vein of like Teenage Fan Club, you know, very much in that vein. They only had 2 albums, Uma Lama, Mary Queen of Scots, both fantastic records. Yeah, what more can I say about this? They're great, and if you like the Vaselines too, you like Eugenius, and vice versa. I love Eugene Kelly, very recognizable voice. Yeah, I wish we would have gotten more by them, but that is that. But Eugene Kelly did put back together Vaselines for a short time. They released another record, but Eugenius is a little bit different, more rockin'. The Eyes Wide Shut soundtrack. So yeah, I have a lot of Kubrick soundtracks on here. This stuff is great. I love this soundtrack. Not my favorite Kubrick movie, but a great movie. It definitely has a rewatchability. Interesting stuff. Yeah, Jocelyn Pook did some of that eerie music. You know, what was it? The Masked Ball. You know, some backwards kind of eerie, creepy stuff. Of course, György Ligeti, the Hungarian-Austrian modern classical composer, with Musica Rizzicata 2. Yeah, that very simple, minimalist piano work, but effective, creepy as well. And then of course you got the Chris Isaac song on there, whatever. Not probably my least favorite part about the soundtrack and the movie, but it doesn't matter, whatever. But the rest of the soundtrack is really fantastic. So we've come to the end here. Yeah, the X, not X, but the X as an ex-boss, ex-girlfriend,
There are 8 girls
something.
behind me, and only one of them is my ex-girlfriend Lexi.
Great Dutch punk band, late 70s, 80s. I have a couple of their records on here. The Western Shrugged Their Shoulders. The Weatherman Shrugged Their Shoulders. Great record. Tumult, also great. And then I have the X with Tom Cora. Yeah, what can I say? Scrabbling at the Lock. This is just great, you know, straightforward rock and punk rock music. I became aware of these guys through my interest in Gretachu Makuria, the Ethiopian sax player. We'll get to him in the G's. That is really, really, really great, you know, Ethiopian jazz, saxophone music. And I don't know how they got together, how a Dutch punk band got together with an Ethiopian jazz saxophonist, but man, that stuff is killer too. You can find stuff with them together on YouTube. I totally recommend that. But the X, really underrated, not that well known in a lot of circles, but they started in '79. They were Jos Clay, the singer, and on drums Gert, and bass Renee. I think they're still together today with Terry Hessels on guitar, Katarina Bornefeld on drums, Andy Moore on guitar and baritone guitar, and Arnold de Boer on vocals and guitar. Yeah, really, really good rock, punk rock there. So, we've gotten to the end already of the E's. That didn't take very long, right? So, but yeah, stick around for the next video. It's coming up at some point here when I get around to editing the damn thing. But yeah, look, the F's. We're on the F's then. Yeah, Faith No More, The Fall, Faust, Firehose, The Almighty Firehose, Flaming Lips, Forward Music Quintet, Fraction, Frank Black, Frankie Diamond Jr., more Barry Lyndon soundtrack, Fripp Eno, Fudge Tunnel, and The Almighty Funkadelic Fusion. Listen, the F's are just incredible. Can't wait for that one. Neither can you. So kids, that's the E's. Those were the E's. Well, but thanks for sticking it out. Get that out of here. Alright, so I'm going to lay back down, take a rest here. Peter will see us out. Till next time on How's My Phone?
Boom.